Hi, you're watching Firstpost and I'm Rupha Ramani. Now the BCCI or the Indian Cricket Board is in the lookout for a new coach to manage the men's cricket team. Rahul Dravid, who is currently at the helm, will wrap up his charge by June with the T20 World Cup. Looks like the last shot at glory for him and a few others in the Indian contingent. Now the Indian men's cricket team has had Indian coaches for a while now. And while it has been interesting stints with Ravi Shastri and Rahul Dravid, and they have delivered quite a few powerful moments, the big ICC wins have not really come by. There was a time when the Indian men's cricket squad only had foreign coaches, non-Indian coaches. And while a few of their tenures were quite acrimonious, and we'll get to that in a bit, there have been a couple of memorable ones. But there definitely seems to be an affinity for the Kiwis, and it's probably this love for New Zealand that has sparked off speculations of a certain Chennai Super King being roped in. New Zealand have always been the good guys of world cricket, we all know that. They've got a calm sense about them, their leaders have a cool mind, they're affable, and there are plenty of examples of that. From Kane Williamson to Daniel Vettori, Tom Latham, Ross Taylor, all cool and composed leaders. They bring a sort of calm energy to the dressing rooms that they are a part of. And that's something absolutely crucial when you look at any international setup, because with it comes a lot of tension, a lot of pressures. It's intense out there. Let's look at the last time India had a New Zealander as coach. It was the year 2000. John Wright was in charge back then, and India managed to win an ICC event under his helm, the Champions Trophy, and then came close to winning a second one, the ODI World Cup in 2003, where they finally lost in Australia in the last hurdle. But John Wright's tenure was brilliant. Sourav Ganguly was the skipper, and John Wright, who loved to be in the background, was the perfect foil for the flamboyant Sourav Ganguly. It was a very, very good combination. Of course, after that came the most volatile time in Indian cricket. The media certainly had the field day when the board decided to go with the Aussie way and rope in Greg Chappell. That stint lasted just 2 years, and that too very miraculously it lasted that long. The various run-ins with Ganguly and the heated face-offs that Chappell had with the other seniors in the side, showing the finger to an Indian crowd, the tempers were glowing and were unchecked. And clearly Australia's hot-headed Chappell as an Indian coach was a concoction that exploded. Then, of course, came in the calm after that storm with Gary Kirsten, and again India had a wonderful reign, capping it off with the World Cup win in 2011 at India. The tenure that followed was another weird one, with England's Duncan Fletcher taking over. That lasted about 4 years, but it did nothing much to the general makeup of the team. They did win the ICC Champions Trophy in England, so probably one thing went right. But fresh speculations has now emerged that Stephen Fleming, a former New Zealand captain, could be in the running for this job. Now, why is he perfect for this role? Now, I observed Fleming much like Gary Kirsten from up close when I was part of the Chennai Super Kings franchise, and he knows how to get along with just about everyone. There's a reason he's lasted that long in the Chennai Super Kings franchise, in a setup where MS Dhoni calls the shots and he's the captain. A coach has to be able to manage a team, get the best out of everyone there, make sure there is no friction, keep a healthy dressing room going, set a bit of a routine that has his or her own individual stamp. Stephen Fleming has done that. He seamlessly transitioned from a CSK player to a coach right there in that franchise. So not only did he manage to learn the ways of the ownership, he gelled well in that setup, and quite honestly, his nature, which is easygoing, very approachable, laid back and disciplined, all of that mixed with that dash of dry Kiwi wit and humor that very few have seen him use, have been key to his successful tenure as the coach of Chennai Super Kings. And it's not surprising that BCCI in their next phase, where the goal of course would be an ICC silverware in whatever format, will want a calm mentor who can be an asset as a strategist too. Because Fleming has captained his side for 10 years. Only Kane Williamson has done so for more than 10 years. In fact, a little more than that. So that's wealth of knowledge as a leader. In this next phase for Indian men's cricket, we are likely to see a new captain at the helm, the post-Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli era. So you need a coach who probably has been captain as well, someone who can pass on valuable insights as a leader on the field too. not just someone who can manage a dressing room from behind. And in that regard, no one can quite be a better fit than phlegm, as he's fondly called. That's the enigma, the patience, the calm aura that he lends to any side. He has been a quiet and calm force in the IPL setup for Chennai. There is a lot of faith and love that he has from that franchise, and it'll be no surprise if the Indian setup goes the Kiwi way once again.
Firstpost reports from the world's second largest continent. Hello, I'm Alison Lagrange. A very warm welcome from Durban, South Africa. We get you the news and the newsmakers from Africa. South Africa goes to the polls on the 29th of May. I will track the election and bring you ground reports. Is it the end of the road for the African National Congress? And will former President Jacob Zuma stage a dramatic comeback? From elections to climate change to innovations and opportunities. As the world's attention shifts, we report from Africa, the heart of the global south. Join me every weekday live on Firstpost.